Yo, what's happening? So you clicked on this video because you want to know why you should get finance versus buying cash. Well, I'm going to try and break it down in very layman's terms and try and keep it short. It's very complicated, and yes, there are arguments for both sides. There is an argument for buying car cash, but I'm going to give you my argument for why I believe you should finance your vehicle. And yes, we know in these streets out here, people always acting like they got it figured out. They're like, I bought my car cash. I ain't paying no car off. It ain't all that gas. Don't believe that gas. That is just hype. It is not in any way an aspersion to your value as a person if you're financing or you paying off a car with finance. And this is what I'm going to explain. And this is why I think finance is better than buying cash. Starting off, I'm gonna give you a brief history of who I am and what I've done. So I'm A1 Wolf. I'm a musician. I was part of that life that I gotta buy my stuff cash. I'm a hip-hop artist. I don't want out in the streets where the people know I'm still paying off my vehicle, all that jazz. I bought 3 cars before I caught on that finance is actually the better route. I bought all my cars cash. I'm not a fancy person. If you know who I am, I'm not a person who's all about the flash and all about, I got the latest. I'm about practicality. So when I bought my first car, it was just to get around. It was a really cool car. Didn't have much experience, but it was secondhand, and I bought it just for the sake of it looked cool. It will get me from point A to B, and that was my thinking. When I bought my second car, I was thinking about surfing. So I was thinking about I need a spacious car that would get me to the beach, and I can keep my surfboard in there and all kinds of stuff. So that was my thinking. So I bought a Jeep, and I'm like, okay, cool. This will make sense, even though it guzzles fuel. Didn't really think about it, but it was just about I want to buy it cash, and I had the cash money to buy that Jeep, and that's the car I wanted. So this carried on for a while. I got a little wiser with the decisions, but now I've gotten to a point where I was like, let me do this research about finance. Maybe the reason why I'm against it is not really wise, which I figured out it wasn't. This is what basically was broken down to me, and hit me up in the comment section and tell me if I'm wrong. Let's have a conversation, because that's the point. I'm giving you my points of what I believe is right. Number 1, reason why you should finance your car is a vehicle, a car is a depreciating asset. So if you're asking me, A1, what the hell is a depreciating asset? Like, I'm not really a finance guy. I'm not really a financial guy and can tell you all these technical things, but I know what depreciating asset is. And depreciating asset is an asset that depreciates in value after it's been bought. So everything that you like, a cell phone, laptop, camera, as soon as you buy it, its value depreciates. So you ask yourself, yeah, but I buy my laptop cash. I bought my cell phone cash. So why can't I buy my car cash? I wanna own it. I don't want to be paying the bank off and so forth. So what's your argument? Here's my argument. Let's start off with a vehicle is a hell of a lot more money than a cell phone, a camera, a laptop. Plus, a vehicle is used a lot more in situations where it can get damaged or written off or stolen. There's so many different situations on a daily basis when you're using a vehicle of how that big asset, that big amount of money that you invested into that vehicle could just disappear. And yes, I know the argument against this is probably insurance. Insurance, those who have taken insurance, like me, who have used insurance, I haven't really used my insurance yet because I'm a safe driver and I've never had like that kind of accident. But those who have can tell you the same story, and I've helped many people in situations where the insurance is not paying up the full cover. They didn't cover the way they were supposed to cover, or the accident's a little more complicated. You did this and you did that. That makes you have to pay up a certain amount. So basically, insurance doesn't fully pay out, and in most cases, people are sitting in situations where they lose out a lot. Yes, always have insurance, but they still lose out. If you get in an accident, if you get in a situation, your car gets stolen, you're still losing. You're still in a situation where you're in a worse off situation than you were in. So insurance doesn't just negate that. Number two, that same amount of money, and that argument that I have of it's a lot of money and it's a big investment, that same amount of money, that huge sum, if you got 150,000 or 200,000 or 300,000 or 1 million or whatever you're paying for the car, if you got that huge sum of money, there is much better ways of you investing, and I'll do videos down the line, but you can Google on investment ideas, business ideas. There's so many other things you could be doing that can make you that money. Even if you hold it in interest-bearing accounts, like that's your money growing, not depreciating, versus it being on the road and always decreasing. Because as soon as you buy the car, you walk out the dealership, if you started off with 150, you got it's 140 as soon as you drive out, and by the day, by the month, it decreases. It decreases in value. The value is less and less. There's more stuff you're gonna have to do to fix it down the line. You have to service, you have to do a whole bunch of things, but it still decreases in value no matter how well you take care of it. Whereas that money could be increasing and could be adding more income into your bank account. So that is why I believe you should not be giving up this huge lump sum of money just to buy a vehicle, a depreciating asset. My other argument with the finance thing is finance is a lot simpler than you think it is. Most people also avoid finance because they think it's so complicated and you need this, you need that, and I need to go to the bank and get this guy's approval, and you don't, and people are scared of rejection. Just go ask, go walk into a dealership, give them your facts, your statements, your slips, whatever you've got. Just give them the info, give them whatever you have that they ask, and they will help you through the whole process. And it's a lot easier than most people think. It's very easy, and they do all the work for you. They go around finding the best premiums. They go around finding who can give you, who's willing to give you finance, who's not willing to give you finance. And worst case scenarios, they can tell you, no, we couldn't find you finance. But then you can also ask, why were you rejected for the finance? So you can go fix those problems and come back later and get it done. Or you can, like in the other video, where in the case of a student who doesn't have pay slips and so forth, you can use that strategy that I used. And there's many other strategies to work your way around it. But once you have that finance, this burden is taken off your shoulders, and you just gotta work towards those installments and keep your installments low. If you know that, hey, I can't afford myself a fancy Beamer or fancy Benz, don't go for the fancy Benz because you qualify for that. That's where people fail, and that's where I think most people have this negative thought about finance, is that people decide to go extravagant, go beyond their means because they say, oh, I qualify for that, so I'm going for that. No, if you qualify for a really fancy car or the top of the range car, doesn't mean you have to go for that top of the range car. You can go for the bottom of the range and make sure that you're paying a low installment, so your installments are low, so that you always make sure that you're comfortable and you never feel pressured, and you're able to still do all the other things we were talking about. Another thing is, if you have this money that you have that you could be spending on buying a car cash, keep that in an interest-bearing account and let that be your cushion. Let that be that money that you have set aside, and you can always use that to meet those installments. Because over time, I'd like to think that if you're wise and with your business and money making skills, you'll be able to pay off that car with that same amount of money and more, because you would have invested and you would have spent that money to make more money, and you would have done something that's of a greater interest to you in your life. I hope that makes sense to you. I must say, let's make this also clear, I am not a financial advisor. I'm not claiming that I know it all, but this is just something I know, and I want my tribe and the people out there who follow me to think about this and understand where I come from and why I have this viewpoint, and we can engage and have a conversation, and you can tell me otherwise or teach me otherwise. But otherwise, subscribe to the channel, become part of my tribe. I'm A1 Wolf, and we're going to be better together. Let's keep on doing this and keep choosing love aware.